everybody! In this video, I'm going to be showing you about how you can add to the last video and add some menu on the start and the end menu inside of our Super Hexagon style game. So first of all, let me actually show you how the game will look at the end of this tutorial. So we're going to run the exe. This is how it's going to look. So it says, welcome to the Super Hexagon. And we can hit play or quit. If we hit quit, this is gonna quit the game. Now, if I hit play and then wait for our next level to load up, then it's going to actually load the whole game. So let's actually wait right over here, and boom, our game has loaded up. And now when we actually collide with one of those hexagons, it simply says that we have lost, and it says made by programming with Akshat. Over here you can put your name. Now you can play again. Quit. I'm gonna quit, and essentially that's how it's going to look at the end of this video. So I've just got the project open right over here, and let's get right into building our application. So first of all, we need to build the menus. That's what the video is all about. So first, I'm going to build the end screen. So I'm going to create a scene, and I'm going to call this end. So then I'm going to hit enter, and of course save. And instead of the end, we basically want to create UI, and we want to create a panel. Nice. So now if I hit F to focus on it, this is how it looks. Right? Now, over here, let's rename the panel to the end. And let's give this that. Let's make it totally white. Like so. And now inside of this panel, first, let me actually that we actually get an idea of what we have. Okay. Okay, and then I'm just gonna do rules and the first thing that's here is this element. So inserting that, you'll right click, UI, text elements. Over here, what I'm going to do is set the text to be you lost. So it's all in capital also, so let's turn on caps lock. Exclamation. Now we go back to our game. All I want to do is basically so, and now I basically want to increase its font size to be something like 50. I'm going to give it a lot of room. So let me actually expand it. So I'm clicking T. That as let's align it in the middle. So for that, we can actually use this. Okay, let's actually make it a little bit more smaller. Now we take a look at the game view. That's how it looks, but it's red, right? So basically, you go over to color, and then you change the color to red. I mean, totally red. And also, I don't like this font. Okay? Where it says "you lost." I don't like the font, so I'm gonna change it. Basically, for installing additional fonts, what I use is Google Fonts. So go over to Google Fonts, that's there. Fonts, and open up the first link, which says fonts.google.com, which is the Google Fonts website. And that just opened, and now search for Roboto, what I prefer, Roboto, and now the download family, which will actually download the zip. Now it's showing folder, and then just go ahead and unzip this, right click, extract all, and hit extract. Then over here to this, take all of this except for the license and come back to Unity And I'm going to keep this super organized. So I'm going to create a folder for all of the fonts. That's where all the fonts will live. And then create another folder for roboto. So now drag all of this. So we're just importing all the fonts. Okay, now for this text element, I'm actually going to call it view class. So then I'm going to hit enter. And instead of Arial, I'm going to use roboto thin. That looks better. Actually, it's not roboto thin. It was roboto medium. Yeah. And now for the canvas, I'm actually going to set the UI scale mode to scale with screen size. Okay, we'll have to move that down because on the top. Okay, now I hit your space. That looks a lot better. Okay, now after that, what do we have? We have the made by message, right? So let's duplicate this by doing Control V, and let's call this made by. Now let's select it, and here inside of the scene view, I always think that my game view is my scene. Let's give it a font size of 30, and let's make it black again. The font will be the same, and let's call this thing, the text is going to be made by, and then duplicate this down, then here, just enter your name. So in my case, I'm just going to do programming with so, and I'm going to change the font to be roboto thin. Like so, and that looks better. So now I also want to increase the font size back to 50. Okay, now the last thing that's left is those buttons. So let's put in those buttons. So right click, UI, there, button, click. Now just bring that down there. That's. And now for the button, for actually changing the color or the background color, over here, the green color, let's go over to color and pick the color that we want. Okay, now we want to change the text, so let's go over to the text elements. And this one is going to be for play again. Okay, now let's duplicate this button. Let's take that over there. So, in this one, let's make it red because, you know, it's for playing the game. Red color. Good. Then we can select that, and then actually here we can do quit. Let me change the name of the button to be quit, and this button to be play again. Now let's style these buttons because right now they. So first we will change the sprite. Yeah, actually sprite to be none, and source image to be none, and then we will add a component called shadow. Now for the shadow, all we will basically do is reduce the opacity a little bit. And over here, we'll do x 0 and y is -2. And that gives us this little cool effect below the buttons, which is very nice. Now let's actually make them a little bigger because right now they're small. Bigger, like so. Okay, now when we actually click on one of these buttons, it should execute some code. So first let's do it for the quick button. So all I'm going to do is go over to end and create a script called end. New scripts, or not. And let's wait for that to reload. And we can open that up in Visual Studio. Basically, I already have everything here. But if you don't, just put it up. Now let's get rid of those unnecessary using statements and this stuff. Now all we want to do is basically get rid of all of this and create a public void. If you don't mark that as public, it's not going to appear. Public void, and we will do quit. And here, all we're basically going to do is we'll do application.quit, which will basically close the application. And basically, when we application.quit, it's not actually going to close on Unity. Only when you export it, it's going to close. So just to make this very clear, I'm just going to print it out that it actually works. Print the game was quit. Something like that. Like so. And now I hit save. Basically, it's not linked up to the button. So we actually need to link it up to the buttons. So it's for the quit button, so we will select it, and we will go over to say where it says on click, and then we will click on the plus button, and then over here it asks us for an object. So here we are simply going to we're gonna drag in our end. Here's it. Quit. Here we are going to drag in the end where it says none object, and where it says no function, that means nothing is going to happen. We're going to go to end, and as you can see, the quit is available. Only if you mark this public. Now we play. Then if I quit, as you can see on the console, it says the game was quit, which is really nice. So basically that's working. So let's get rid of that, and now we actually want to handle the restart. So all we are going to do is create a public void play again, and here we basically need to using Unity engine dot scene management. We need the scene manager, and we will go to the previous scene. We will say scene manager dot load scene manager dot scene manager dot get active scene build index -1, which will take us to the previous. Okay, that's looking good, and hopefully it's will do what we want. Actually, actually we need to add this to the build settings, guys. We need to add our end screen to our build settings so that it actually knows that the build index is right over here, right? So it actually needs a build index. So that's why we actually need to provide it there. And this is the first thing that's going to load up, the main. For now, we are also going to have a main menu later. Now we hit play, hopefully it will switch to the previous scene. If I hit play, and then I hit play again, and oh, I didn't link it up. Yeah, I didn't link it up. I need to hit plus, drag in end, no function, end, again one, and now hopefully it should be going to the previous. Right? So if I hit play again, I don't know why it actually takes a while, but finally it actually goes to the previous scene. So that's what happens for some. That's not a problem. Okay, that works. Very nice. And then the background music is playing and all of that. So with that, we have completed our end screen. Now, when the player actually collides with the objects, the hexagons, we actually don't want to reload that current scene. We want to load the end scene. So let's go ahead and open up the scripts folder and open up player.cs. And here we are actually getting the build index and just reloading it. But we want to add one to it, which will load the next scene. And now if I hit save, then now I'm also going to go over to drag the script in there. Let's go over to scenes. So that reload. scenes, and then I'm gonna go over to the main scene. And of course, I do want to save it, and main, I Control P. So now we'll start off on the main scene. Wait for that to go ahead and enter play mode. Okay, it entered play mode, and boom, we see the screen when we lose. Let me show that again. Let's enter play mode, and okay, it entered play mode. Now we can dodge these, and if we don't, we get presented with this screen. And again, we can play this again by clicking on that button, and it will load scene. So I just clicked on it, and again, it's taking a while, but no problem. It will at last load the scene. So as you can see, it loaded it up. And now let me get off. Now we actually need to create the start scene, right, for the main menu. So I'll just duplicate the end, and I'll create the main menu. I just did Control D again. I'm going to go over to the main menu, and now let's just change up some stuff. So where it says you lost, instead we're going to call this welcome. And here also we will do welcome to, and we will make that black, and we will use the bottom ink. And here we can actually delete the made by, and this will remain as name. That's not a problem. Put it up, and instead of saying program with Akshat, I'm going to do whatever the name of your is. In our case, let's do super Hexagon replica or super Hexagon. I don't know where. And I'm just going to change that again to what I call the theme color for this game, because I actually picked orange as a theme color. And here instead of Roboto theme, let's do Roboto medium. Good. And here instead of play again, let's do play. Text, we will do play. Okay, that's looking good. And now over here, instead of end, I will rename that to again welcome. And now all I want to basically do is for the play, for the button click, basically for the welcome, so just like we created for the end, we will create a script. And for the welcome, we actually don't want to attach this end script, so we're going to remove component and let's create a welcome script. Okay, that, and now let me actually share the screen about that. Now all we have to do is open this up in Visual Studio again. Get rid of those two, and that. Okay, let's get rid of even this. And now, from n.cs, we can actually copy this. Okay, welcome, paste. So quit application.quit, that's of course going to work, and let's also do using Unity engine.scene management. Okay, and play again. Actually, this I'm just going to change that to just play. Scene measure.load scene measure. Here we need to do plus because we want to load the next scene, and also let's add this to the build settings. Let's add open scenes, and first what should pop up is not the main game itself. First, it should actually take you to the main menu. So that's what we're gonna do. Make sure all of the scenes that you want into inside of your game are here in order. Okay. And now, basically, we want to link it up. So, over here, let's just do welcome, no function, let's do welcome, and the play, open that play, and for quit, we will drag in welcome. Here we will do welcome wins. And also let's just print out a message because I just want to prove that this actually works. Print, let's just use question. Like so, semicolon, and now I hit save, and I head back into Unity. Hopefully everything works. I hit play. Quit. Now if I play, it should load up the game. And it does. So that's really good. And when we lose, it takes us to this. And we can also click here, or we can do it again. So let me play again. I'm going to test if everything is actually working at this stage, or this point. And if it is, then we're pretty much done for our game. Let's take a look. Just okay, that works, and I lost it. Whatever. So everything at this point works in our game. And now, in the next video inside of this playlist, I'm going to be showing you about how you can export your game to Windows or RTL. So that is it for this video. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe to my channel. And yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.